Ever notice how some people just seem to thrive as they get older? They have energy, they stay sharp, and they just radiate a certain vitality. And then, tragically, we see others our age who maybe aren't doing quite as well, who seem to be fading a bit sooner than anyone would hope. It makes you wonder. Doesn't it? Is it just luck? Or are they doing something different? It can be painful to see friends or family members struggle with the challenges that sometimes come with age. But what if there were some simple, everyday habits that could make a world of difference? Habits that are actually strong indicators you're set up for a long, healthy life well into your 90s and beyond. It's not about finding a magic pill. It's about recognizing the power in the small choices we make consistently. In this video, we're going to explore 6 surprising habits that many long-lived, vibrant people share. These aren't necessarily difficult things, but they are powerful indicators. Stick with me, because by the end, you might discover you're already on the right track with some of these, and understanding them could truly surprise you with the potential they hold for your own future. So, let's dive right into the first habit, one that might seem obvious at first glance, but its depth and importance are often underestimated, especially as we age. It's the habit of nurturing strong social connections. Now, I'm not just talking about having lots of acquaintances. This is about having meaningful, supportive relationships with friends, family, or even community groups. Think about the people who light up when you see them, the ones you can share a laugh with, or the ones you can turn to when things get tough. These connections are more than just pleasant. They are fundamentally important for our physical and mental health as we age. Researchers who study populations with high numbers of centenarians, people living over 100, consistently find that robust social networks are a common thread. Why is this? Well, there are several reasons. First, social interaction helps keep our minds sharp. Engaging in conversations, sharing stories, even just planning an outing, all require cognitive function. It's like exercise for the brain. When we isolate ourselves, our world shrinks, and our cognitive stimulation decreases, which can contribute to feelings of loneliness and potentially accelerate cognitive decline. But it's not just about keeping the brain active. Strong social ties act as a buffer against stress. Life doesn't stop throwing challenges our way just because we hit a certain age. Does it? Having people to talk to share your worries with, or just to sit quietly with, can make a world of difference in how you handle stress. It prevents that feeling of being completely alone with your burdens. Think about a time you were going through something difficult. Wasn't it a huge relief to talk it over with a trusted friend or family member? That emotional support is incredibly powerful for managing the stress hormones that can wreak havoc on our bodies over time. Chronic stress is linked to all sorts of age-related illnesses, from heart disease to weakened immune systems. Having a strong social support system helps mitigate that risk. Furthermore, being connected often encourages healthier habits. When you have friends or family you spend time with, you're more likely to stay active. Whether it's going for a walk together, gardening, or joining a bowling league, you're also less likely to neglect your health. Friends might encourage you to see a doctor, remind you to take your medication, or even notice when something isn't quite right and urge you to seek help. They provide a gentle form of accountability and care that is hard to replicate when you're on your own. Let's say you plan a weekly coffee date with a friend. That simple act gets you out of the house, involves social interaction, and gives you something to look forward to. Or perhaps you have a family member who calls you regularly just to check in. That feeling of being cared for and valued is incredibly protective. Now, you might be thinking, well, my social circle has shrunk over the years, and that's a common experience as friends move away, or sadly, pass on. But the habit isn't about maintaining the exact same network you had in your 30s or 40s. It's about actively nurturing the connections you have and being open to forming new ones. This could mean making a conscious effort to call a friend or family member every week, joining a local club or group based on your interests, maybe a book club, a walking group, a volunteer organization, or a craft circle. It could be attending events at your local community center or place of worship. Even connecting with people online through video calls or social media groups can provide valuable interaction, especially if mobility is a challenge. The key is intentionality. It requires a bit of effort to reach out and maintain those bonds. But the return on investment in terms of your longevity and quality of life is immense. Think about the joy you feel after a good visit or chat with someone you care about. That feeling isn't just fleeting happiness. It's a boost to your well-being that accumulates over time. People who make this a priority, who actively invest in their relationships, are often the ones who seem to handle the ups and downs of aging with more resilience and grace. They have a support system to lean on, people to celebrate with, and a sense of belonging that makes life richer and more meaningful. Moving on from the power of connection, let's talk about another crucial habit we see in those who live long: vibrant lives. This one is about how we move our bodies. And I want to be clear, this isn't necessarily about running marathons or lifting heavy weights, unless that's something you genuinely enjoy. This is about the habit of incorporating regular, varied physical activity into your daily or weekly routine. It's about making movement a natural part of your life, not a chore you dread. Think about the folks you know who are active. They seem to have more energy, are often in better moods, and appear more resilient. Don't they? Research overwhelmingly supports this observation. Regular physical activity is a cornerstone of healthy aging and a strong predictor of longevity. It helps maintain muscle mass and bone density, reducing the risk of falls and fractures, which can be life-altering as we get older. It keeps our cardiovascular system healthy, lowering blood pressure, reducing the risk of heart disease and stroke. It helps manage weight, improves sleep quality, and even boosts our mood by releasing endorphins. But importantly, it also plays a significant role in maintaining cognitive function. Moving our bodies improves blood flow, including to the brain, which helps keep our minds sharp and can even reduce the risk of developing dementia. So, what does this habit look like in practice? It's about finding activities you enjoy and doing them consistently. This could be something as simple as a brisk walk every day, perhaps around your neighborhood, in a local park, or even on a treadmill if the weather isn't cooperating. Walking is fantastic because it's low impact, accessible to most people, and you can easily increase the duration or intensity as you get fitter. Maybe you enjoy gardening. All that bending, lifting, and moving around is excellent physical activity, and you get the added bonus of beautiful plants or fresh vegetables. Dancing is another wonderful option. It's fun, social, tying back to our first habit, and a great workout for both body and brain. Perhaps you prefer swimming or water aerobics. These are particularly good if you have joint issues, as the water supports your body. The key is variety and consistency. Aim for a mix of activities that include some cardiovascular exercise to get your heart rate up, strength training to maintain muscle mass, even using light weights or resistance bands at home makes a difference, and flexibility and balance exercises like stretching or Tai Chi, which are crucial for preventing falls. Don't feel like you need to spend hours in a gym. Short bursts of activity throughout the day can be just as effective. Maybe you take the stairs instead of the lift, park a little further away from the shop entrance, or do some simple stretches while watching television. It all adds up. People who live long, healthy lives don't necessarily follow strict, grueling fitness regimes. They simply have a habit of moving their bodies regularly throughout the day and week, making activity a natural, enjoyable part of their routine. They find ways to incorporate movement into things they already do, or they make time for activities they genuinely like. This consistent engagement with physical activity keeps their bodies stronger, their minds clearer, and their spirits higher, setting them up for many more years of active living. It's a habit that pays dividends across every aspect of your well-being, building on the foundation of staying connected and keeping our bodies moving. Let's talk about a habit that is fundamental to fueling those efforts, the habit of prioritizing nutrient-rich foods. specifically focusing on incorporating more plant-powered options into your diet. Now, I'm not talking about strict, restrictive diets that are hard to follow long-term. This is about a sustainable habit of making conscious choices to nourish your body with foods that are packed with vitamins, minerals, fiber, and antioxidants, the building blocks for a long, healthy life. Look at the diets of people in the blue zones, areas of the world where people famously live much longer and healthier lives, often well into their 90s and past 100. A common thread among them is a diet that is largely plant-based, rich in vegetables, fruits, legumes like beans and lentils, nuts, and whole grains. Meat, if consumed at all, is usually in smaller quantities and less frequently. Why is this habit so important for longevity? Plant foods are incredibly nutrient-dense. They provide the fiber that's essential for good digestion and helps regulate blood sugar. They're loaded with antioxidants and anti-inflammatory compounds that protect our cells from damage and reduce chronic inflammation, which is linked to many age-related diseases. They also tend to be lower in saturated fats and cholesterol compared to many animal products, which is better for heart health. Making this a habit doesn't mean you have to become a vegetarian or vegan overnight, or ever. If that's not for you, it's about shifting the balance on your plate. Think about making vegetables the star of your meal, rather than just a side dish. Could you add an extra handful of spinach to your soup or stew? How about swapping your usual snack for a piece of fruit or a small handful of nuts? Could you try 1 or 2 meatless meals each week, focusing instead on hearty bean chili or a lentil shepherd's pie? Incorporating more plant-based protein sources like lentils, beans, chickpeas, and tofu is also beneficial. These are excellent sources of protein and fiber. And don't forget the power of color. Aim for a variety of colorful fruits and vegetables, as different colors often indicate different types of beneficial nutrients. Red tomatoes, green broccoli, blueberries, orange carrots. Each brings its own unique set of health benefits. Making this a consistent habit means thinking about it when you grocery shop, when you're preparing meals, and even when you're eating out. It's about building a pattern where nutrient-rich plant foods are your go-to options. People who successfully adopt this habit often find they have more energy. Their digestion improves, and they maintain a healthier weight more easily. They're providing their bodies with the fuel they need to function optimally day after day, year after year. This simple, yet profound, shift in eating habits is a powerful predictor of living a longer, healthier life. It's about nourishing your body from the inside out, consistently choosing foods that support vitality and resilience as you age. Now, let's move on to another crucial habit that significantly impacts our health and longevity. One that is often squeezed out in our busy modern lives, the habit of prioritizing adequate and restful sleep. You might think sleep is just downtime, but while we're sleeping, our bodies and brains are incredibly active, performing vital functions that are essential for repair, restoration, and overall health. As we age, our sleep patterns can change, and some people find it harder to fall asleep or stay asleep. However, consistently getting enough quality sleep, generally 7 to 8 hours for most adults, is non-negotiable for healthy aging. People who live long, vibrant lives often have established good sleep routines and prioritize getting enough rest. Poor sleep isn't just about feeling tired the next day. Chronic sleep deprivation is linked to a whole host of serious health problems, including increased risk of heart disease, stroke, diabetes, obesity, weakened immune function, and even cognitive decline and dementia. During sleep, our brains consolidate memories, process information, and clear out waste products, including proteins that are linked to Alzheimer's disease. When we don't get enough sleep, these crucial processes are disrupted. So, how do you cultivate the habit of prioritizing sleep? It starts with creating a consistent sleep schedule. Try to go to bed and wake up around the same time each day, even on weekends. This helps regulate your body's internal clock, also known as your circadian rhythm. Establishing a relaxing bedtime routine can also signal to your body that it's time to wind down. This could involve taking a warm bath, reading a book preferably not on a screen, listening to calming music, or practicing gentle stretching or meditation. Creating a sleep-friendly environment in your bedroom is also key. Make sure it's dark, quiet, and cool. Avoid electronic screens, phones, tablets, computers, TVs, in the hour or so before bed, as the blue light they emit can interfere with melatonin production, the hormone that helps us sleep. What you eat and drink, and when you do it, also affects your sleep. Avoid heavy meals, caffeine, and alcohol close to bedtime. While alcohol might make you feel sleepy initially, it disrupts sleep later in the night. Regular physical activity, as we discussed earlier, can also improve sleep quality. But try to avoid vigorous exercise right before bed. If you find yourself struggling to sleep, avoid lying in bed tossing and turning for long periods. Get up, go to another room. Do something quiet and relaxing in dim light until you feel sleepy, and then return to bed. This helps your brain associate your bed with sleep, not frustration. Making sleep a priority is a conscious choice. It means saying no to staying up too late to watch another TV show or finish an unnecessary task. It means recognizing that sleep is just as important for your health as diet and exercise. People who have this habit understand that a good night's rest isn't a luxury. It's a necessity for maintaining their physical health, mental clarity, and emotional well-being, all of which contribute significantly to living a longer, healthier life. It's like giving your body and brain the essential maintenance time they need to perform optimally. Continuing our exploration of habits that contribute to a long and healthy life. The fifth one is about how we handle the inevitable stresses of life, the habit of actively managing stress and practicing mindfulness. Let's face it, stress is a part of life at any age. It can come from worries about health, finances, family, or any number of things. While short-term stress is a normal response, chronic, unmanaged stress can have devastating effects on our physical and mental health over the long term. It contributes to inflammation, weakens the immune system, raises blood pressure, disrupts sleep as we just discussed, and can negatively impact mood and cognitive function. People who live long, vibrant lives aren't necessarily stress-free. They've developed healthy ways to cope with stress and incorporate practices that promote calm and resilience into their daily routines. This isn't about eliminating stress entirely, which is impossible, but about changing our response to it and finding ways to lower our overall stress levels. The habit of stress management involves consciously implementing techniques that help you relax and regain a sense of balance. This could be something as simple as taking a few deep breaths when you feel overwhelmed. Deep breathing activates the body's relaxation response, helping to lower heart rate and blood pressure. Or it could involve regular meditation or mindfulness practices. Mindfulness is about paying attention to the present moment without judgment. This can be done formally through seated meditation, or informally by simply focusing on your senses while doing everyday activities like washing dishes or taking a walk. Even just 5 or 10 minutes of mindful breathing or quiet reflection each day can make a significant difference in reducing stress and increasing your sense of calm. Other effective stress management habits include spending time in nature, a walk in the park, sitting by a lake, or even just tending to your houseplants can be incredibly calming. Engaging in hobbies you enjoy provides a healthy distraction and a sense of pleasure and accomplishment. This could be painting, playing a musical instrument, gardening, knitting, or anything else that absorbs your attention in a positive way. Regular physical activity, as we've already mentioned, is also a powerful stress reliever. Talking to a trusted friend or family member tying back to social connection about your worries can also help process stress. Even just acknowledging your stress rather than trying to ignore it is a step in the right direction. The key is finding what works for you and making it a regular habit. It's about consciously building moments of peace and calm into your day. rather than letting stress build up unchecked. People who master this habit are better equipped to handle life's challenges, bounce back from setbacks more quickly, and prevent the corrosive effects of chronic stress from taking a toll on their health. It's a habit of actively choosing peace over panic, resilience over reactivity. Finally, let's explore the sixth habit that is strongly associated with living a long and fulfilling life: the habit of cultivating a strong sense of purpose. This is perhaps the most profound habit, and it's not about having a grand, world-changing mission, although it certainly could be. It's about having a reason to get up in the morning, something that gives your life meaning and direction. This could be anything from caring for grandchildren, volunteering for a cause you believe in, pursuing a passion or hobby, learning new things, or contributing to your community in some way. People who feel they have a purpose, regardless of their age, tend to be more engaged with life, more resilient in the face of adversity, and have better physical and mental health outcomes. A sense of purpose provides motivation, structure, and a reason to stay active and engaged with the world. It gives you something to look forward to and a feeling that your life matters. How do you cultivate this habit? It starts with reflecting on what is important to you. What activities make you feel energized and fulfilled? What problems in the world do you care about? What skills or knowledge do you have that you could share with others? It might be about identifying your values and finding ways to live in alignment with them. For some, purpose might come from nurturing relationships with family. For others, it might be through creative expression like writing or painting. For many, it's about giving back, perhaps through volunteering at a local school, hospital, animal shelter, or community garden. Learning something new, whether it's a language, a musical instrument, or a new skill, can also provide a powerful sense of purpose and keep your mind sharp. The key is finding something that resonates with you personally and making it a regular part of your life. It's about having goals, big or small, that you are working towards, and activities that bring you joy and a feeling of contribution. People who have this habit are less likely to feel isolated or depressed. They have a reason to stay healthy and active so they can continue pursuing their purpose. It provides a vital framework for navigating the later years of life with enthusiasm and vitality. It's a habit of actively seeking and maintaining meaning in your everyday existence. So, there you have it. 6 habits that are strong indicators you are set on a path towards living a long, healthy, and vibrant life, potentially well into your 90s and beyond. We've talked about the essential role of nurturing and strong social connections, reminding ourselves that meaningful relationships are vital buffers against stress and promoters of well-being. We explored the power of making irregular physical activity a natural and enjoyable part of your life, moving your body in ways that keep you strong, balanced, and energized. We delved into the habit of prioritizing nutrient-rich, plant-powered foods, understanding how nourishing your body with the right fuel provides the building blocks for longevity. We highlighted the absolute necessity of prioritizing adequate and restful sleep, recognizing it as a critical time for repair and restoration for both body and mind. We discussed the importance of actively managing stress and practicing mindfulness, developing healthy coping mechanisms to navigate life's challenges with greater calm and resilience. And finally, we touched upon the profound impact of cultivating a strong sense of purpose, having a reason to stay engaged and a feeling that your life has meaning. Remember, this isn't about being perfect at all 6 of these all the time. Life happens, and there will be days or weeks when some of these habits slide. The key is the conscious effort and the commitment to these areas over the long term. Small, consistent efforts in these areas add up dramatically over the years. You might already be doing well in some of these areas. Perhaps you have a wonderful group of friends. Or you've always loved gardening. That's fantastic. Recognize those strengths and build on them. And maybe there's another area that feels more challenging. Perhaps you struggle with sleep, or finding time to connect with others. That's okay too. Identify one small step you could take in that area. Maybe it's committing to calling one friend this week, or trying just 5 minutes of deep breathing before bed tonight. Living a long and healthy life isn't a mystery. It's often the result of consistently applying simple, powerful principles like these. These habits aren't just about adding years to your life. They're about adding life to your years, ensuring that those extra years are full of energy, joy, connection, and purpose. Seeing people thrive in their later years is such an inspiration, and these habits are often the quiet engine driving that vitality. So, take a moment to reflect on these 6 habits. Which ones do you feel are already a strong part of your life? Which one do you feel you could perhaps focus on a little more right now? Your journey towards a long, healthy, and vibrant future is built one habit at a time. I'd love to hear your thoughts on these habits. Which ones resonate most with you? Are there any others you feel have contributed significantly to your well-being as you've gotten older? Please share your experiences and insights in the comments below. Your stories can be incredibly helpful and inspiring to others in our community. And if you found this video helpful or insightful, please give it a like. That tells me what kind of content you enjoy. And be sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on future videos dedicated to helping you live your best life at every age. Thank you for watching. And remember, it's never too late to start cultivating habits that support your health, happiness, and longevity. Live your best life at every age.